Ever wonder what it takes for something to be labeled as straight whiskey? Well, I'm going to tell you. I'm Ryan from With or Without Whiskey, and this is Whiskey Specs. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Specs, where I give you the definitions, qualifications, and specifications of different whiskey categories. I'm Ryan from With or Without Whiskey, and today we will be learning about straight whiskey. Before we get started, guys, please do me a favor and show your support for the channel by hitting the subscribe button down below. It means a lot to me, and it helps the channel grow. One misconception that a lot of people have about the straight whiskey label is that it can only apply to bourbon, but that is not the case. The straight whiskey label can be applied to any form of American whiskey as long as it meets the specific qualifications. In order for a whiskey to be labeled as straight whiskey, it must be stored in its proper oak containers for at least 2 years and come from a single state. Straight whiskey extends to mixes of straight whiskeys of the same type from the same state. Example, a straight bourbon from Kentucky Distillery No. 1 mixed with a straight bourbon from Kentucky Distillery No. 2 is still considered a straight bourbon. Whiskeys blended from different states can't be called straight, but can be called a blend of straight whiskeys. A straight whiskey cannot have anything added to it except for water. That means no flavorings and no added colorings. The dominant grain in a straight whiskey must be a minimum of 51% of the total mash bill. If a whiskey's mash is under 51% of a specific grain, it is just called straight whiskey. If 51% or more of a whiskey's mash bill is wheat, it can legally be labeled straight wheat whiskey. If it is 50% or lower, it must be labeled just straight whiskey. If something meets all of these qualifications, it can legally be called straight whiskey. Well, that does it for today's episode of Whiskey Specs. If you enjoyed the episode and you learned something new today, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button down below. Also give me a like and hit the bell notification. That way you guys get informed every time I drop a new video. Also, leave me a comment. What's your favorite straight whiskey? Does this label mean a lot to you, or do you not care either way? I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. Until next time, stay safe everybody. Take care.